I noticed today that you used a phrase I'd incorporated recently, and I was, obviously, very flattered. It actually made me reconsider myself for a moment and recognize that maybe I'm at least on some level heard, which is nice to know now. I'm recognized, on board and regarded, often even parroted apparently. Thought narcissistically so, though, I know. Or then again, perhaps I intruded. I'm sorry. I entered your mind without wiping my feet and then tracked in some mud for the rug. Perhaps it's the worst part of ourselves that we wipe off on each other, eh? That we smear across our consciousnesses for the sake of validation, for recognition, and possibly even for survival. It may be all we've got to give. It might even be that when we are attempting a good-naturedness, or when we think we are instead just encouraging repetition, a mimicry we describe as character. Who we are instead becomes who we came from. There's nothing left of us in that case. There's nothing of who we are that isn't someone else's muck, a careless mistake, or one made with care and intent that, while good-natured, was still disturbed and disturbing. We are not ourselves then, and never were, but, instead, each other. We'll return to that someday, I think. But still, I have to ask, where is it that we turn for solace when it's not the dead that haunt us, but the living? I remember, not that long ago, when I was old. Well, older, like it was yesterday. Although I know all too soon it is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, when, if I'm lucky, I'll have a litter at my feet, looking at me to play some sort of game that we've devised together. Or rather one that they've devised and that I succumb to despite knowing the way my knees will feel it in the morning. Tomorrow, when the game will end and dinner will be ready. It'll have been your turn to cook because I made the Sunday dinner for everyone when they came round, and you'll have made something delicious and warm, and we'll sip on white wine, and while the flavour melts on my tongue, I'll simply melt into you. Tomorrow, when maybe if we're both very lucky, we won't have to struggle. All of that will be behind us and we can finally relax. You will have been right, as always you have been, for believing in me, despite my incessance that you're a dozy cow forever wanting to bother. Tomorrow, when the kids are asleep and it's only the two of us left awake, when I will simply gaze into you, seeing finally on the surface what I always knew had lain beneath, I will know I've always been right about that spark in you that lights a fire in me, and I won't need to say I told you so because you hate it when I do, but still, you'll know I'm right too. And then the next day, the next tomorrow, after an evening in each other's arms in front of the fire, I'll wake up to you. We'll still be setting the alarm early so that those few minutes before dawn are only for us, and we can pretend that the dark outside is the night, when responsibilities are waiting for the dawn before they start dogging at our heels. I remember that love, that old, unknowable love, the kind that cathedrals are built on and torn down by, the kind we never believed in and revolted against in the anxieties of our youth, the kind that even now, as I sit and remember a time I long to see just once in my life, I can feel, just moments away, coming, maybe tomorrow.
Morning breath blows past lips to meet my cheek, stirring me in our oft-shared bed, For weeks left with unruly sheets, there's nowhere else I'd rest my head. Eyes meet first, then arms entangle, as we joke, then fake outrage, in hopes the other tries to wrangle us back inside our boundless cage. And on days when mind is black and hope recedes, these moments knit together to tether me once more to my bowed mattress with you, where acts are deeds, where I can feel your skin and your heart at my core. You know I'm often trodden down and fogged with thoughts of doom and death, yet all these thoughts resign themselves as I love you and your morning breath.